Each year in May, Tamil communities across Ontario come together to remember the atrocities committed against Tamils in Sri Lanka during the final stages of the war. This period of reflection and education culminates on May 18th, a date that holds deep historical and emotional significance for many Tamil-Ontarians. I want to take a moment to share a legal update related to Tamil Genocide Education Week, a recognition established by law in Ontario, and the subject of a recent court challenge that went all the way to the Supreme Court of Canada. In 2021, the province passed the Tamil Genocide Education Week Act, recognizing the 7-day period leading up to May 18th as a time to reflect on the Tamil genocide and learn about other genocides in history. The act was challenged in court by the Sri Lanka Canada Association of Brampton and a number of other parties. They opposed the act, arguing that it marginalizes Ontario's Sinhalese community and violates their rights under the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. The association applied to the Superior Court, asking that it find the act unconstitutional. They argued that the act went beyond Ontario's jurisdiction and infringed their charter rights to free expression and equality. The Attorney General of Ontario responded to the application and argued that the Government of Ontario was within its jurisdiction to pass the act, and that the act did not violate the applicant's charter rights. Various Tamil organizations intervened in the court hearing supporting the act. The National Council of Canadian Tamils, the Canadian Tamil Academy, the Canadian Tamil Youth Alliance, and the Tamil Rights Group. The Attorney General and the interveners collectively claimed the act is a valid exercise of provincial power that promotes the equality of Tamil-Ontarians who have suffered from intergenerational trauma and stigma in the wake of the war. On June 28, 2022, the application judge upheld the act, finding that it had an educative purpose that fit within Ontario's constitutional powers and did not violate the applicant's charter rights. The applicants appealed the decision to the Ontario Court of Appeal. They argued that the judge mischaracterized the act's purpose, which in their view was to declare a genocide, a matter they claimed was solely within federal authority. In September 2024, the appeal was dismissed. However, the higher court's reasoning differed slightly. While agreeing with the lower court that the act is within Ontario's jurisdiction, the Court of Appeal did not see the act as merely educative. Instead, it concluded that the act's main purpose is to commemorate the Tamil-Ontarian community's experience and promote human rights, diversity, and multiculturalism in Ontario. The court also agreed that the act does not violate the appellant's right to free expression or equality, as it does not suppress expression or make adverse distinctions. The court stated the act attributes responsibility for the genocide to the Sri Lankan state, not the Sinhalese community, and anyone misusing it to marginalize Sinhalese Ontarians is doing so incorrectly. The Sri Lanka Canada Association of Brampton then applied to the Supreme Court of Canada for leave to appeal. This step is often misunderstood. Unlike lower courts, the Supreme Court doesn't automatically hear every case. In most matters, you have to apply for leave to appeal, or in other words, ask for permission to hear the appeal, and the court only grants that if it finds the issue to be of national public importance. On March 21, 2025, the Supreme Court of Canada refused leave to appeal. This means the lower court's finding, in this case the Ontario Court of Appeal's decision, stands as is. Tamil Genocide Education Week will continue to be recognized in Ontario. If you have legal questions or need guidance on where to begin, we're here to help. Thank you so much for watching.